Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny, and in today's video we're going to be comparing two popular tech and EDC pouches. On the one hand, we have the Goruck Wire Dopp, which is a pouch that I've used for many years now. I've absolutely loved it. And on the other hand, we have the Evergoods Civic Access Pouch 1 liter, which is a relative newcomer. I have only been using this for a couple of weeks. I was very curious after hearing so much praise and love for this pouch in some of the roundup videos that I saw at the end of last year, so I had to pick one up. I've been testing it out, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some of the similarities and the differences between these two pouches. To me, they seem to try to fill a similar need as far as offering something that's a little more compact or slim that can fit into some of the compact pockets that are offered in a lot of common EDC backpacks. So, very excited to just kind of show you how I've loaded these out, talk through the similarities, differences, and which one might be better depending on your particular needs. And so with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. And so to kick things off, I want to do a quick run through of the CAP1 as I haven't featured it on the channel before. This one has the same minimal styling that we've seen on Evergoods' other products. It matches up well with their ecosystem, so a really simple, clean vibe. I believe it is offered in a few different colors now. The version that I have here is just black. On the front, you have the Evergoods hook and loop patch that's going to allow you to customize the pouch. I currently have a little Pete's Pirate Life logo here, but they also sell their own patches that you can add here or just leave it off. I actually really like the logo. And the fabric on this is a 420D high tenacity nylon, very similar to what we've seen on Evergoods' CTB 35 backpack. It feels, really rugged while not adding a ton of weight. Very nice, flexible feeling as well. It's not super stiff, which works particularly well for a pouch such as this, where it's meant to be a little bit slimmer. As the name states, this does come in at 1 liter. And it's an interesting volume as it can get very slim, but it also has kind of an expandable volume that allows it to get pretty big. So I'll throw the dimensions up on the screen. And it's a pretty nice size. It's a little bit bigger than I had expected, but that does give you some nice flexibility. Continuing along the outside, you have a handle on the back, which is going to allow you to hold this. So if you can open it up, not have to worry about dropping it. You also have a few loops that might work well to pair with a carabiner if you want to hang this off one of your bags. And then one of the key features of the CAP1 is this magnetic opening. There is a series of magnets that provides a very secure hold, but also makes it easy to open and close the bag. Very satisfying. I believe Evergoods has done some videos kind of walking through the design process of these magnets. I think that this worked quite well. And then this opens up flat so that you can easily see everything that's on the inside. You can also pack it this way to save on a little bit of bulk. If you have both sides filled up, can save a little bit of space. You can see that manages to get quite thick if you place some bigger items in there, so you can lay it down flat as needed. And then on the inside, you have 2 separate compartments, zippered areas with internal organization. And I'll dive a little bit more into this organization in a second as we're doing the comparisons with the Wire Dopp, but that is the CAP1. And then for the Wire Dopp, there's actually 2 different versions. So the original version that I had is the full-size Wire Dopp, which is a little bit larger. I'll put it next to the CAP1 here so you can see sort of the difference in size and shape. The Wire Dopp, the larger edition, is going to be a little bit taller, I guess you could say. But then there's also the Wire Dopp Mini, which is pretty much half the size of the original Wire Dopp, and it's going to be a little closer in form factor to the CAP1, but it doesn't hold quite as much. It can't expand to the same level that this one can, so that's something to keep in mind, but pretty similar length and kind of close in height. So you have both of these options. I'll be talking about both as we go along. I'll show you how I've loaded them out. While we're doing a few size comparisons just to show off the CAP1, I have the Air Slim pouch here. You can see, again, pretty similar in size, and it also has the same ability to kind of expand out to handle some bulkier items while being able to slim down when it's not being used with as much stuff. And then the last comparison that I will do for now is the Evergoods Civic Access Pouch, the 2 liter. This was the original pouch that they made. This is of course going to be significantly bulkier and bigger than this bag here. It has the Genius hinge opening that I absolutely love. This is one of the reasons why I use it most often, is because it just stands up perfectly well. You can see it holds bulkier items such as my DJI remote and GoPro. So it's going to be, perfect for just giving you a little bit more space. and when you have a little bit more capacity in your bag, if you can handle it, it works very well. Both of these combine to create a really great kind of 1-2 combo if you like to pack more modularly. But coming back to the Wire Dopp and the CAP1 specifically, I chose to compare these because, again, they have sort of this aesthetic that feels like it's meant to be slimmer and fit into a tighter compartment in a way that other pouches like the CAP2 or Goruck's Field Pockets cannot. And so to me, that's really interesting. I've always been a fan of slimmer pouches, which is why this form factor sort of appeals to me. The Wire Dopp, as far as materials, it's offered in 1000D is I believe what I bought this one in. The newer editions that were made in Vietnam is 500D, but both of them are really rugged. And so taking a closer look at how you open and close the bags, the Wire Dobps have this buckle that you have to release. It also has the ability to adjust depending on what you're storing, so you can compress it down, which is nice. This buckle works well, but it can tend to get in the way, particularly if a pocket is really packed out. It can get snagged on stuff. So even though you get some additional versatility with the adjustable volume, you might end up paying for that with the amount of space that it takes up versus the magnets, which is a little bit quicker and easier to open. When you really pack the bag out, the magnets, you might have a hard time fully securing them. I haven't loaded it out to that degree, but that's a problem that I've had with sort of magnetic closures in general, is that if they're not closely aligned or you start to use too much of the volume, it can start to be a little bit trickier to use. So I do prefer the quick access of the magnets and just how satisfying it is, but I've never had a huge issue with the Goruck buckles in general. One additional note regarding the differences in the form factor between the CAP1 and the Wire Dopp is just the overall floppiness, I guess is what I would call it. So I still believe that the Wire Dopp can get a little bit slimmer, particularly this larger version when it has some bulkier items, but this buckle system here kind of allows some a lot of flappiness to kind of come up, which makes it difficult to get this into a compartment that's particularly tight. If you're placing it in downwards, you can kind of get around that by going in bottom first, as you have this sort of ledge, whereas the CAP1 has these more rigid ends, and the fact that it's secured with the flap all the way across, it doesn't really leave those open edges in the same way that the Wire Dopp does. So it can be just a little bit sleeker and easier to get into particular compartments, especially when they're loaded out with a similar capacity and this isn't super thick or anything like that. And then opening them all flat, again, this is a really nice layout that you can place next to you when you're sitting down somewhere, so it's not quite standing up, but clamshell style, as with bags, just allows you to get full visibility into everything that you might be carrying. And so putting the Wire Dopp Mini next to the CAP1 first, you can see pretty similar sort of form factor, but the CAP1 can hold much more. The Wire Dopp Mini to me is a great sort of companion for more sort of EDC or smaller tech items. You have on one of the flaps a zipper compartment that's divided in the middle, so it's two smaller compartments. In here I currently have this USB stick that adds memory to my phone. I have an air tag, and then next to that I just have a flat. And then next to that I have a flashlight from Olight, as well as a Leatherman multi-tool, which is TSA safe. And then it also has a larger compartment on the flap, which isn't divided, and this is going to be a good spot for cables or taller accessories. I currently just have a multi-port cable with a bunch of different things that might work well for a variety of devices, and a little phone stand. So very simple layout. This one really can't expand that much and is not going to be able to handle chargers like for laptops or larger USB-C cables, so very compact. And then the larger Wire Dopp, of course, is going to be able to hold, to me, maybe even a little bit more than the CAP1, or the way that the space is distributed allows it to stay maybe slightly slimmer. So this is one of the benefits of the larger Wire Dopp that I've noticed when comparing the two, is that even though I have my laptop charger and cable in here, I still have extra space to put other items. And when closing it, this would be able to fit into a slimmer pocket even when it's completely closed. I don't have to leave it flat. It has a pretty simple layout, so you have the one large compartment here which is meant to hold laptop bricks and larger cables that you need to be accessing so that they don't get tangled up with everything else in your bag. And then you have two smaller compartments at the top. So in this one here on the left, I have a portable battery, my anchor battery for my phone, and then I have a wall adapter with a few USB ports. And on the other side, I was able to fit a pair of wired headphones as well as a hard drive with its cable. And so that is the larger Wire Dopp. And I think that all the items that were in here could fit in the CAP1, and the CAP1 does come with some extra organization, which is another one of the benefits that it has. So in the middle here, you have an elastic band that's gonna be a good spot to hold a pen or a stylus. I currently have the Ridge bolt action pen. And then you have two mesh zippered pockets, as I showed earlier. Starting off with this one here. This one has a divider in the middle, so it separates it into two equally sized compartments. And with these pockets, you always have to kind of be mindful of the volume. You can see that it expands out quite a bit, and so if you take full advantage, it's gonna really make this quite a bulky little package. But with the items that I have here, I was impressed that I was able to use both sides and not have it feel overly cluttered. So on the back, behind the divider here, I have a larger portable battery. And then on the front of that, no divider, just one large mesh compartment. I have my Apple Magic Mouse, and then I also have the Peak Design mobile tripod that I've been using a lot recently. So really nice, simple layout there. And then on the other side, this one has a divider in the middle, so it's segmented into two different size compartments, similar to the Wire Dopp Mini that we saw. And it also has a larger pocket on the back, which is gonna be good for some taller accessories. In my case, I currently just have a Field Notes notebook, would probably be a good spot for a wallet, a passport. You might even be able to fit your phone in here comfortably. And then on the front, you have the two dedicated smaller compartments. You can see how the dividers are there. In this one, I just have a lightning cable to charge my phone. And then I also have my AirPods in the compartment next to that. So really like the simplicity of the layout here and the fact that this provides some extra organization over the Wire Dopp. Honestly, it feels like kind of a middle ground between the two sizes of the Wire Dopp. It's gonna give you a little bit more space and organization than the Wire Dopp Mini. It's not gonna be quite as large or spacious as the larger Wire Dopp. So, if you like Evergoods' ecosystem and you need just a simple, durable pouch that's kind of in a middle size, then it's gonna be great to check out. But if you're looking for the slimmest pouch that's gonna still be able to handle some bulkier items, then the larger Wire Dopp may be a good option to check out. And if you're just looking for something simple for smaller tech and EDC, then the Wire Dopp Mini may be the way to go. And so that's it. Those are some of the similarities and differences between the Evergoods CAP1 and the Goruck Wire Dopp. Hopefully this video was helpful, and if you have any questions on the pouches or suggestions for similar items that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. I'll make sure to include links in the description below to the places where you can purchase these pouches, as well as to some of the other videos that I've done for similar style pouches. I've done a roundup on some of my favorite slimmer organizational pouches, and I've done in-depth videos for a lot of different styles. I'll also be working on a larger roundup of some of my favorite pouches in 2023 that I'll make sure to include a link for once that is complete, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And I want to thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Hopefully this type of video was fun. If you liked it, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.